this it? Is this the moment? Could be. This could be it. Well, it looks like something's going down right now in Venezuela. It looks like the planes are flying. They've crossed into the airspace in actually over land. And Trump has just stated in a little get-together, you know, anytime you see Trump now, he's sitting down. Have you noticed he's not standing up or doing a whole lot standing up? There's a lot of memes now going on about something going on with his legs, but he's always sitting down at a desk and everybody's standing around him. Well, he just did another one of those kind of little speeches where he said that this is going to be it. We're going to show you guys some of that footage. We've got the flight radar picking up F-16s, F-18s going in. I don't know if they're F-35s or F-18s, but they're actually crossing over into land now. So they're letting their transponders stay on for the purpose of letting everybody know that this is it. That Trump's saying it's going to be it. Now the transponders are left on. They're going in. There's some other big news, too, I wanted to share with you guys. And I'm going to show you guys our feeds here in just a second here. Honey, make sure you post that on the regular feed, too. The flight tracking radar data is showing U.S. fighter jets over Venezuelan airspace right now. So there is something going on. Another thing that we're going to talk about here in just a moment is that the U.S. Special Forces have raided a ship that was heading for China or from China to Iran. And supposedly it had military equipment on it. Okay, that's pretty huge. So the U.S. raiding a ship coming from China going to Iran? That's big. Okay, that's a big news story right there. Not to mention the fact that we're almost going to see war break out. Hey, this is the peace president, you know, and this is the peace president, golden age. Everything's happening. The economy's better than the job reports have said. Actually, the dog ate the job reports for October. I forgot. We don't really know exactly how well the economy is doing because all we're hearing is Trump saying it's on fire. Everybody wants to be us. And everybody's just putting their trust in the almighty Trump. Because you know what? It's all about confidence, right? Everything is working because we have confidence. The dollar is strong because we have confidence in it, right? But I think that the people are losing confidence right now in the U.S. dollar. That's why gold and silver are going through the roof right now because war, anytime you see these as indicators going up like this, that means we're on the precipice of something really bad happening. So I'm just going to tell you guys right now, I hope you're all ready for what's about to hit the fan. How bad is it going to be? I don't know, but it's going to be bad. I'm sure it's going to be a war. This is Trump here talking about the strikes that are coming he says they're going to start happening. And now we're seeing the flights going over land. So is it happening right now? Or is this another one of the psychological warfare techniques where you got them anticipating an attack? You know, it's kind of like when your mom would tell you, go wait in the room. I'm going to come in there and I'm going to beat your butt for what you did. And then they don't come in for like 2 hours. Just let you sit there and wait. I don't know if that's what they're doing here or not, but this could be what they're doing. I don't know. Let's go ahead and listen to see what Trump really did say here. We'll pull this feed up here. And this is Trump today. Now, this just happened just within the last little bit. So we can say this is fresh, right? Fresh. All right, let's see what he said.
96% of the drugs coming in by water. Every one of those boats you see get shot down, you just saved 25,000 American lives. But we knocked out 96% of the drugs coming in by water. And now we're starting by land. And by land is a lot easier. And that's going to start happening. And we're not going to have people destroying our youth, destroying our families.
Okay, so, all right, then this was actually earlier today because they had the hats. Okay, so this was some kind of, now, this is another thing that Trump is doing. He's showing off the 1980s miracle win against the Russians. Remember that? It was a hockey tournament in the Olympics, and it was a big deal. It was kind of a symbolic representation of America overcoming and beating, the USSR, and the whole thing about the Iron Curtain and everything like that. It was a really big deal. So what did Trump do? He got all of those team members, and I guess they got them together. And there was some kind of an award given to Trump. I guess they gave him a hockey puck, and they gave him a hat, some kind of a cowboy hat. And I guess this was the team that played back in the 80s, from what I understand. Now, why is that significant today? Because it's symbolic. We're in a confrontation with Russia. And I think this is Trump's way of saying, hey, we beat you back in the 80s, and we're going to beat you again. That's what I think this is. I might be wrong on that, but there's something definitely going on there with the timing of that, in my eyes. There is a lot of footage now coming out on social media and channels that do cover the flight radar and showing what's going. And I know that the U.S. is doing this on purpose because they want the whole world to know what they're doing. But they usually turn off their transponders when they're going to do some damage, when they're going in to actually do some breaking of things. So the transponders were turned off, turned back on again, turned off. You can see them flying all around in there. And something's going on. Something definitely could be happening right this very moment. We don't know. The U.S. is reaching the end game of Venezuelan military buildup. This is an article at blazingpress.com. Might want to check that out. We're definitely looking at something huge going down. And I'll just read a little bit to you here. Let's just go ahead and look at that article here real quick. I just want to welcome everybody here real quickly before I get into all the details and we really start delving into this. I wanted to welcome everybody here to the Blazing Press, the BP News channel. And just wondering, anybody get an alert? I sent an alert out. What, a little alert? Okay. Well, we sent a lot of alerts out, but we definitely want to make sure everybody gets the alerts. We're trying to test to see if it's going to all pan out here and everything works fine. It says here, yeah, it looks like it kind of did. We'll see what happened. So what's going on, guys? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing here? I mean, is it getting close? Does it look like things are happening? Good to see Arnold in Prism. Sherry. Well, the article here is talking about the end game here that we're in, and we should all be taking note of how close things really are. And here we go. It says here that the U.S. is entering the end game of its military buildup in the Caribbean, moving high-value assets critical for combat ops into Southcom. That's the Southern Command, right? And that would be everything down in South America. So not only is Trump threatening Venezuela, but he's also threatening Colombia and anybody else in between. And I'm sure Mexico is in on that as well, because most of the deadly drugs, fentanyl, 90% of that comes from Mexico and the cartels there. And they work with Hezbollah. And if you didn't know, Hezbollah has a pact with the cartels in Mexico because they're expert tunnel builders. And they've been doing this for at least 20 years. A lot of people don't know this, but the cartels fund the Hezbollah operations against Israel with money, with drug money. And Hezbollah comes in and helps build tunnels because they're expert tunnel builders. And they build tunnels under the border. Did you know that? So it really doesn't matter too much about shutting off with a wall or a fence, because they dig, burrow right underneath, and they go deep. And this is what Hezbollah does. So we could be seeing real war break out on our southern border with Mexico. So, anyways, Trump's already threatened Colombia, and he's threatened other countries in the Southern Command area, deploying additional strike and electronic attack aircraft. These are where they can shut off the lights. What do they call them? EMP type weapons, including the Vang F-35s, the VAQ-132 Growlers, repositioning U.S. Air Force's assets from CENTCOM and Indo-Pacific Com, such as Combat Search and Rescue. They're repositioning all these right now. Jolly Green 2s, Helos, and HC-130 aircrafts. The 6 KC-135 air refueling tankers are forward deployed to the Dominican Republic. These are all being redeployed, I guess. And then it says carrying out more frequent flight ops in closer proximity to mainland Venezuela, and that's what they've been doing as of late. We've been seeing them getting closer, closer, closer. Now they're flying over the actual land now. The Gerald Ford carrier strike group, is now following a 5-day port call in the USVI, and I'm not sure what USVI is. Port call in USVI. I'm guessing that's one of the islands there, U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay, Virgin Islands. And it's operating in the Central Caribbean. So if the rumor that Maduro will be out by Christmas holds true, expect a decision to be made soon if it hasn't already. Details and sources below. Remember, all U.S. citizens are urged to depart Venezuela immediately. This is a travel advisory from December 3rd. This is U.S. Southern Command, Air and Naval Assets. All this is interesting information. You can see what's going on there. You just go over to Blazing Press channel and blazingpress.com to be able to find that info. Or make sure you also get connected to our social media via Telegram and also here at YouTube. And make sure you follow us real close, because we definitely are on top of things as they unfold in real time. And when they do happen, we're going to tell you about it as it's unfolding. Now, here's some of the footage here. I want to see if I can show you guys really quickly. Some of the visuals from flight radar of what's actually happening there. Let's see if I can pull that up here real quick. So this is some of the activity that's been going on here. You got a lot of operations going on here. See if you can see this. That was Trump's little message that he gave. Okay, and let me see if I can pull up a couple of other visuals here of a little more indication of these planes coming in. Yeah, so, with all of this activity, it's only a matter of time before they do something, because Trump is definitely telegraphing that something's about to go down. Let me just get this out of here.
Yeah.
What is this? So, yeah, there's a lot of channels out there right now that are covering this. Let's just take a look at this one here. So from what I understand, a lot of this activity that you're seeing right off the coast is military. That Grizzly is a military, is U.S. military. The R, okay, that's a Rutuka airline, the RU. That is an Estelar airline. That right there is U.S. That's a U.S. Navy plane. But like I said, they turn off. A lot of times the transponders are turned off. That right there is a Rhino. Those are two, Rhino 52, Rhino 51. Those are United States Navies. It doesn't tell you what they are. I'm not sure what. They might be F-18s. I know they're F-18s. Those are two F-18s. So you got two F-18s right there. And they're doing a lot of circling there. And like I said, they leave their transponders on for a purpose, and that's just to let people know where they're at, and then they turn them off when they're doing an op. When they're actually going in. And you're not going to know they're coming in. They're just going to come in. You see how they're making little loop-de-loops here? This is like real time. The ones that are actually the planes are those ones that are like little triangles. Those are the F-18s and the that right there I think is something else. That is a no, that is an F-18. Yeah, that's an F-18 as well. So, I mean, that's still, I mean, like, we're getting really close to something going down here. But what do you guys think about this happening with China? I mean, we literally commandeered a military transport to Iran from China. We're really pushing the envelope on that one. You know, what's China going to say about that? I guess we don't care, right? We don't really care. We're taking them all on at once. We're going to take on everything all at once. We're going to take on Russia. We're going to take on China. We're going to take on Iran. I mean, we're going all, you know, pedal to the metal. This is what we're going to do. And really weird things are going on right now with precious metals. You see how the price of precious metals is going up through the roof? Well, that has a lot to do with the instability, geopolitical. That is like an indicator that things are about to go off the rails. And they tried to manipulate the price of silver, like they did back in the 80s and like they did back in 2011. And they do that, they kind of short it. I forget what they call it. You know, the economic terms for this, I escape me. I'm not an economist, so I understand what they're talking about, but they're telling us that it didn't work this time. Whatever they were trying to do to bring down the price of silver did not work. It only went down like $2. Let's see what it is right now. Price of silver right now is, it's still holding at 62. That is just amazing. It's just amazing, the price. And that means that they can't stop what's happening. I could read to you what that means, but this is an indicator. You know, if you understand what's happening with silver and gold, that should give you a real good insight into how close we are to all hell breaking loose. And they call it a margin call. I think they call it a margin call, where they basically up the amount. You know, I could read it to you, and it would make sense. I could probably commentate off the read. But if you want to look at this, we'll definitely take a look. Let me see. I think I have it at Blazing Press here. Let's see. It might be over here at Blazing Press channel. I think I have it over here. It's called the Banks kill switch. So they call it the kill switch. Okay. Let's read a little of this, just so you understand. The Banks kill switch officially failed today, so they changed the rules. It will not save them. And this is a big old huge bar of silver. And, silver is a very needed metal, especially in industrial applications, but it's also a precious metal, so people collect it. But it's very short in supply. In fact, it's very hard to find. They call it an extinct metal. And so they need this metal. The Americans need this metal. The globe needs this metal for all types of different industries. Not to mention, the new electronic industries with whatever, anything that's electronic, but especially now with AI. So AI and all these different things that they're building, they're going to need a lot of this, and it's not there. It's not there. So there's nothing they can do to try to bring down the price because it's in short supply. Now, I don't know if they're going to do what they did back, I forget when they did it, in the 70s, I think it was. Or was it before that, when they tried to take possession of gold and silver? You couldn't own it. It was against the law to own silver or gold, I think it was. Anybody know when that was? When was that? I know I heard something about that. I think it might have been in what do they call it? I don't know. Repatriate it? Is that what they call it? Repatriation? Anyway, it says they waited until you were asleep. It's an old tactic, a cowardly tactic, but effective. And they do it on a Friday. Oh, what's today? Oh, today's Friday. Oh, wow. Okay. Last night, while New York was dark and London was just pouring its coffee, the powers that be fired the most dangerous the most dangerous weapon in the precious metal market, silver. They didn't sell metal. They didn't announce a new mine. They didn't fix the supply chain. And this was from a video, too, I was looking at. This is all a transcript from a video. It says they didn't sell the metal. They didn't announce a new mine. They didn't fix the supply chain. They changed the rules of the game. If you woke up this morning, checked your phone, and saw red candles in price charts, and if you don't know what red candles are, those are the little indicators that show how far down it goes. It's just a drop. If it's green, it's going up. So they got the green candles and the red candles. And it says if you saw the red candles on the price charts, if you saw the price of silver smash down from its highs, and you felt that pit in your stomach and that fear that says, here we go again, uh-oh, it was because people saw it going down, but it only went down $2. That wasn't that, not at all. It goes breathe, because what you're looking at is not a market crash. It's an act of desperation. The exchange, the entity that is supposed to be a neutral arbiter of price, stepped in overnight and raised the margin requirements for silver futures. They made it 50% more expensive to hold a position than it was yesterday. They tried to force liquidation. They tried to trigger a long squeeze. You know what a short squeeze is? There's a long squeeze, a short squeeze. They tried to break your spirit before the weekend. This is for those that are holding precious metals in hand. These are not the certificates or the paper. This is the real deal for the people that are actually holding. But here's the news they didn't expect. Here is the data point that should terrify J.P. Morgan and delight every single person holding physical metal. Their effort this morning, it didn't work. In 2011, and by the way, in 2011, I told everybody on my broadcast back in 2011 to go buy silver right before it went up to like $50 an ounce. It was probably down there in the $9 or $10 range, I think it was at that time, or maybe 12. And I told people, I said, and I never have ever told anybody to do this before or since. I never have said anything about doing anything like this. I told people, people thought I was crazy. I said, go get your credit cards. If you got credit cards, go charge them all the way up and buy silver. That's what I told everybody. I said, go charge them up, buy as much silver as you can. And I remember people telling, Robert, you're a Christian. You shouldn't be telling people to go in debt. And I was like, I don't know. I just felt really strong about it. I'm sorry. Well, not a few weeks later, the price of silver shot through the roof to $50. Anybody that listened would have made out like a bandit. Well, there was one guy that did. And he messaged me on, at that time, YouTube was kind of like a message. You could message people. And he messaged me and said, thanks for the tip, man. And I had totally forgot. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, you told everybody to go buy silver. And I did. I bought $30,000 on my credit cards. And I said, wow. He's like, I made like 90, I think he said 90,000 or something. And I said, well, you need to go pay off your credit card now, like I said, because I said, once you make the money, go pay your credit card back off, and then you have the profit. He goes, I don't know. I might just keep it. I don't know. Maybe it's going to keep going up. I want to hold on to it a little bit longer. And so he did, and then it tanked. Remember, it tanked, went right back down to like $20 or $30. I think it was like 25 or something like that. So it was at 50, and it went all the way down. I think it was like 20. So it tanked. But this is what they did. They did the same thing. But that time it worked, right? They squeezed it back down. So they did it. They did this in 1980. And the price collapsed 50%. Today, the price flinched. It dipped, and then it stood its ground. In this comprehensive investigation, I'm going to expose exactly what a margin nuke is. So they tried to nuke the price. And a lot of times the price of gold and silver is manipulated hugely. And the only reason I'm even talking about this in light of what's going on with the different conflicts going on around the world is because countries need these resources, whether it's gold, silver, or oil, to back their currencies. And currencies are really like the American dollar is in free fall. And I don't think people realize what's really happening economically. The engine of the globe in terms of currency and debt settling with other countries now, many are moving toward the BRICS. That's just the reality. And we're not being told because, we can't put any fear out there. We can't put a mindset that's going to bring lack of confidence in the dollar, because that's really what only props it up. It's confidence. It's what you believe. And if you believe the dollar is weak, well, then you're going to decouple. You're going to get out of dollars. You're going to start putting it into something more solid, right? So, and you might even start investing in other places, and other things that are backed by real assets. Because what's really backing ours? What really backs the U.S. dollar? Well, it was the petrodollar. It was Saudi Arabia's and the OPEC. Their word that this treaty that we had, where everything had to be settled in U.S. dollars if there was going to be any kind of oil exchange, right? And everything was being done that way because the dollar was dominant. It was almighty, right? But it's not like that anymore. So there's de-dollarization going on all around the world. So that we're having hyperinflation. That's why everything's going up in price, and the gold and silver is going up in price. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Well, they're telling people, well, you need to get into Bitcoin. We want to move our economy into Bitcoin, and we'll be able to pay off our national debt if everybody gets into Bitcoin, because then the whole world will follow. And then all of a sudden, the price of Bitcoin is going to go up to $1 million. But is that really going to happen? Because Bitcoin doesn't really have anything that really backs it except a bunch of computer, and it takes energy and everything else that's backing it to make it work, and your confidence, right? And if there's a glitch, or if there's a power outage, or the grid goes down, well, then where does your money come from? It's just a bunch of zeros, ones and zeros on a screen, right? And who knows if somebody can't go into your wallet and pillage it and steal it. Well, they say Bitcoin, well, it's decentralized, it's completely safe, it's algorithmically safe, you just can't, encrypt it, there's no way anyone can break in. Well, the U.S. government has $300 billion in Bitcoin, and they said that they confiscated it from illegal activity. Now, how did they confiscate it? If Bitcoin is so secure, and a lot of criminals are using it to somehow, get around the law and around tax and everything, well, then how in the world did the U.S. government confiscate $300 billion worth of Bitcoin that they're sitting on as a reserve? That's what they're saying. It's a reserve. So once the price of Bitcoin goes up, they say, and this is why Trump came in as the Bitcoin president, right? Because we're going to solve all of our debt problems when everybody in the whole world jumps in on Bitcoin. But that's not what's going to happen, I don't think. I think all the rest of the world is betting on commodities and gold and silver and oil, the real things that actually make economies run. Bitcoin does not make economies run. Okay? So now we have a war over energy. And this is really what the war is. It's all about energy. And who can get that energy? That's why everybody's stealing each other's, oil tankers. Did you see Iran stole an oil tanker, or they They seized an oil tanker they said was illegal. Illegal diesel is what they said. It was diesel that was illegal. And they seized it. It had, from when I calculated it out, they calculated it in liters, and I calculated it back into gallons, and then I calculated it into barrels. And it came out to be about, I think it was like 35,000 barrels or something of diesel. So the one that we just commandeered, and I would say, you know, we basically just nabbed it right off the seas. We just off the seas. I always feel like it's like a pirates. Well, like we're all like little pirates out there. But when we just got that ship, obviously they're saying it's bad. Okay, so there's a lot of bad things and reasons for why we took it. But it had like over 1 million barrels. I think it was. Wasn't it 1 million barrels? Is that what they said? I think they said 1 million barrels. It was huge. Whatever it was huge, and we got it, right? So now we have all this oil that we're taking from these ships, and supposedly we're going to keep taking more. And the reason we're taking all these ships is because it's illegal oil. It's coming from Russia, and Russia is sanctioned, not to mention the collusion with Iran. This is a war. We're basically stealing ships from our enemies. That's what we're doing. And they're going to do something back to us. I'm sure they're already doing something in a clandestine way, but this is a asymmetrical war anyway. So when it really starts, it's not going to be necessarily bombs, but it's going to be definitely understood that we're in conflict. And it'll eventually become kinetic. Eventually, it will be kinetic. It's already happening. I mean, we're already seeing this asymmetrical type warfare going on. But he goes on to say, I'm going to show you the historical playbook they are using, word for word, from the 2011 crash. And that's the one I told you about. And I'm going to prove to you that using the volume data from this morning, that the smart money didn't sell the dip. They swallowed it whole. The banks fired their silver bullet, and the werewolf is still standing. This is the story of the Friday showdown. To understand why the market is red, you have to understand the casino that is COMEX, and that has to do with the silver COMEX. It says most people think that the price of silver is determined by two people swapping a coin. It isn't. It is determined by speculators trading futures contracts. These contracts are highly leveraged. Until yesterday, if you wanted to control 5,000 ounces of silver, you didn't need 300,000. You only needed a performance bond, a margin of about 12,000. That is roughly 25-to-1 leverage. It allows hedge funds, day traders, and algorithms to bet massive amounts of money with very little cash down. The leverage is what allows the price to fly up, but it is also the kill switch that the exchange controls. Here's what happened last night. And this is just a synopsis. You can go and read the whole article if you want later. This is what happened. The CME group issued, and I believe that's the COMEX group, issued a notice increasing the margin requirement. Let's say they raised it from $12,000 to $18,000 per contract. That doesn't sound like much, right? But imagine you are a hedge fund holding 1,000 contracts. Yesterday, you needed $12 million in cash on deposit if you had that many contracts. Today, at 2 a.m., the exchange says now that you need 18 million. You have 1 hour to wire US 6 million, or we sell your position. So there might have been a lot of selling going on because of that. Where did you get 6 million? Where can you get 6 million at 2 a.m. in the morning? You don't. So the exchange computer automatically sells your silver contracts at market price to cover the difference. This creates a wave of artificial selling. They did something similar with Bitcoin too. You know, when the Bitcoin dropped, they did something similar to kind of shake people out of the markets because they have it automatically set to sell at a certain point if it dips down to certain amounts. And so the people that are the whales that have huge amounts are all kind of in collusion, and they manipulate the markets so that people just, the algorithms automatically sell, and the price just continues to plummet, and they go in and they buy it up. Once it goes down, they buy it, boom, 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 and they buy it back up. So they're really just stealing is really what it is. But this didn't work. So it's not because the fund wanted to sell. It's not because of the fundamentals changed. It's because the House changed the buy-in. So they're talking like, gambling. And usually the House is in control, especially when they charge you for how much it costs to gamble. I guess there's a gambling fee. And so this is the margin nuke. It is designed to flush out the weak hands, the speculators who are over-leveraged. When they sell, the price drops. When the price drops, other people panic and sell. It triggers a cascade. That was the plan. That was what they did in 2011 of May. They raised the margins 5 times in 9 days. They hiked the cost of betting on silver by 84%. It destroyed the demand, and silver fell from $49 to $33. Yeah, it was at 30, and then it kept going down. They are running the exact same play today. They looked at the $60+ per ounce breakout. They didn't like that. They looked at the empty silver vaults. No more silver in the vaults. They looked at the Bank of America losses, and they pulled the lever, raised the margins. But this time, the result was different. Why? Because the people are buying silver in 2025 aren't speculators using 25-to-1 leverage. They are industrial users and sovereign nations paying cash. Tesla doesn't buy silver on margin. The Indian government doesn't buy silver on margin. They buy with full payment. So when the exchange raises margins, the strong hands don't care. They don't get liquidated. That is why the price only dropped a few cents instead of a few dollars. Actually, it did go down a little bit more than a few cents. It went down a couple dollars. But still, it's still really, really high. The margin nuke only kills the paper speculators. So that kind of gives you the gist of what happened. There's a lot more to it. And if you really want to get into it, you can by going over to blazingpress.com. But I'm just telling you, this is all connected to what's happening with Russia and China. This all has to do with AI. It has to do with the race to become the supreme superpower, whoever gets to AI first, and all the different powers that AI provides militarily and in every other way, industrializing everything. It's going to be the dominant power. And China's already positioned to already do that. They're already actually doing that. We're just not admitting it. I just don't think that, just like the U.S. military war gamed, every time we war game against China, and this was admitted by very high level people, we always lose. We're always going to lose. Our ships are going to get blown out of the water by hypersonics. It's a bad situation. Okay. So China is way ahead of us on a lot of different things, including AI. And, I think that what's happening now is that because they do generate much more power, they're making a lot more power stations than we are. And this is why Trump is all focused on power and energy and oil right now, because he knows that we're really far behind and we need to catch up. But the positive speaking and the positive talk kind of assuages people's fears and makes them feel confident. And it's kind of like pumping somebody up and sending them out to fight a giant. Like you're going to be awesome. You're going to kill him. Get in there. Don't worry. He's big, I know, but don't worry. You're going to do great. Just go in there, and then bam, you first hit knocks you out. And we'll send in another one. Send in some more. It's like reminds me of that biblical story where they keep sending the armies to Elijah, and he keeps calling down. The fire keeps coming down and consuming them, and they send out another military contingency, and they're destroyed, and another one, and they're destroyed, and finally the next one comes out, and they're like, "Please don't kill us." It's like, we've already seen you kill like 3 different platoons. We're so afraid. Please pray that God doesn't destroy us. So, do we really know what we're doing? I mean, seriously, I don't know. I think that we don't know what we're doing. I think it's just like what Mike Tyson said. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the jaw. How many of you guys have heard that before? Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the jaw. Well, just looking at some of your comments right now. Good to see you, Mark Hill. Southern boy, what's going on? Sherry, Prism, Beloved One, by request only, Molly. How's it going, guys? I hope you're all doing well out there. It is pretty crazy out there right now. I guess we're going to find out here real soon where this all goes. So I just need to ask you a question out there. Is there anybody out there that got a text message? I'm just kind of curious. Did anybody get a text message from me? And this is a test. I know the old school people that signed up didn't get a text message. I know you guys didn't get that. I sent out a lot of other alerts, but I want to make sure that our alert system, text messaging alert system, is set up correctly. And we're doing the whole app thing. We're still doing the app. It's not the same app, though. So just so you understand. You might want to get rid of that old app. We're not using that app, okay? That app, and I appreciate the people that are doing it. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about them, but it was just a little more pricey, and it didn't offer as many features. It was actually probably half. So, yeah, it was quite more expensive. And we're trying to save a little money, and we want something better. And our app is going to be something that you can download right directly from the store. And on top of that, you know, we're doing a company with text messaging, a different company. So we're doing that as well. But I did text some people tonight, and I wanted to see if there's anybody here that's watching me that got a text message. Now, Prism, I know you're in there because I saw that you signed up. But I texted some other people, and I wanted to see. Let me see really quickly here. And this is just for my own poll here. I have to know how things are working there. Anybody? No text. Yeah. Well, for those who know, not Mighty, this would be a text directly to the phone. How many of you out there got an actual text to your phone? Anybody? You received a text message? Oh, you did? Okay. CP, that's good. And then D Liberty, you got a text message too? And I mean a text through your phone. That's the only thing I'm asking right now. I send out messages through a lot of other apps or through other platforms. I'm talking about a text message directly to your phone. Prism, I know you got one because I saw you're on the list. The Shoekeeper, you got one? Really? No text. Okay. Did it have a shoot? I know some people don't understand. You received a text through the phone. Joe, is this the first time you've ever received one? How many of you guys are here for the first time? Actually, those that are on the list have seen me before in the past under a different channel called Trumpet News, possibly Trumpet News, or it might have been, it was probably Trumpet News. It might have been Blazing Press, but how many of you guys got the text, and this is the first time you're seeing me in a long time, and you remember me from back in COVID times, or you might have remembered me all the way back during the election? It's probably COVID because that's when we were getting the text. So Wolf Child Spirit, you got a text message? Okay. How many of you guys are here? I want to know how many of you guys that got the text message are here for the first time in a long time. You do remember me because you obviously opted in, but I added you to a new text alert, and I called you back in. This is probably we probably haven't seen each other in probably 4 or 5 years, maybe 4 or 5 years. Or some of you might still be following me, and you just don't. I've just all of a sudden texted you. Dawn, you're on the old list. Yeah, Mark, you're gonna have to sign up for the text again, but I'm not gonna put that out there just yet. I'm gonna get all that a little bit later. You were getting tasks, yeah, because I stopped. The old text messages, we're not using those. Okay, we got another setup. So you guys will all you guys that were on the old list, you'll get back on the new list. Don't worry, just hold tight. I'll let you guys know when you can get on that. I'm just going through my other list right now. And it costs money to send those texts out, so I want to make sure that we're getting the bang for the buck here. You know, like is this going to be worth it? Are we going to, you know, because there's almost 200 people here, but we usually get a couple hundred people here when we go live anyway. So I don't see a huge, big increase in viewers, even though I sent that text out. That's why I'm trying to find out. Anybody out there that got a text, type 1 in the chat. And I'm talking a text through your phone, like an SMS. That's like somebody texted you and said, hey, yeah, and I think what I said on the text was, let me just tell you exactly what I said on the text, just so you know. You know, I'm trying to see where this is at here. Anyways, I'll have to look that up later. Okay, here's what I said. I said, alert, U.S. enters into Venezuela, and the Venezuela was typed with a 3, because, you know, you got to be careful when you send text now, because especially you don't want to say anything really like, I don't know if you want to say emotional. You can't say things that are, I don't know. There's just certain rules, I guess. You got to have a small link, a little small micro link. You can't put on a long link. And basically you just got to alert people of what you're doing, and that's it. So that's kind of what we're doing. So we just basically did a small, we just said alert, U.S. enters Venezuela, and it's a live coverage. So that was the one that we sent out tonight through our list, some of our list. And that's just a small portion of our list. But I wanted to see who actually got it. But anyways, okay. You love our old app. Well, hey, our new app is even better. So our new app is even better. So if you love the old app, you're going to love the new app. I'm just now developing it. So yeah. Well, we were on a month to month, and we realized, you know, we're settling for half the price. We're settling for half the app with twice the price. Why? Why are we settling for half the app, twice the price? So what we did is we found another app that was cheaper. It was better. You know, you go to the actual store to download our app. You don't have to download it through a third party. And our app is on your phone. So that's going to take a little bit of time to get that, because you got to apply for it. But we have that. And push notifications will come back online. We'll get the push notifications. And the texting is really what I'm trying to focus on right now, because I want to see if my list is going to actually get people in here. And that list is huge. But it costs money to send text. So I'm trying to figure out if it's worth it to me to do this right now. But anyways, that's why I'm just asking, okay? Good. You got the YouTube notification. Excellent. Hello from Pendleton. How's it going, Pendleton? You talking about Camp Pendleton? Are you talking about Camp Pendleton? Thumbs up the video, definitely. Yeah, Prism. You like the new? You know, this is just the beginning. The app hasn't been released yet, but you're playing around with the base structure of it right now. In fact, I'll put the link here for those who want to get in on it. Here's what you do. Just go here. I'll put it. I haven't really released it, but I'm releasing it to you guys just for right now. Okay, this is just between you and us. So when you get on this, and the reason why I didn't want to send, you know what, I shouldn't have sent it out right now, because I wanted to make sure I knew who was new. Don't sign up right now. Sign up tomorrow. Sign up tomorrow. Don't sign up right now, because if you sign up now, you'll get lost in all the other names that I added. If you sign up tomorrow, I can put you in a group. So don't sign up right now. Just wait till tomorrow and sign up. I shouldn't have put that in there. Let me take that out of here, because what's going to happen? And I meant to not do that. Shoot. Okay. So the reason I don't want you to sign up tonight is because I have thousands of names, thousands of people. You know, we were a big channel. Okay, we had tens of thousands of people that signed up. Okay. So we have all these names and all these numbers. And if you sign up right now, then there might be a way to find you that your recent sign up, but I don't know yet how to do that yet. But I'm putting people in groups. So groups of 500. So you're going to be in the group tomorrow if you sign up, and I'll tell everybody tomorrow. I'm going to release it tomorrow. So I'm going to tell everybody on all the channels, on all the social media, I'm going to tell everybody how to sign up. Okay. So everybody that signs up tomorrow is going to be in the right group. Otherwise, you're going to get lost in there, and I won't know where you're at. At least until I figure out how to use the software. It's a pretty big software. What are you laughing at, Balax Italiana? What are you laughing at? Pendleton, Oregon? Oh, okay, gotcha. Pendleton, Oregon. Camp Pendleton. You military people watching me? I know. Pendleton, Oregon. Okay. Laying in your old bed, huh? A wool blanket. Oh, that sounds nice. Wool's really nice and warm. Dr. Joey, you got a text on your phone. So, Dr. Joey, let me ask you this question really quick. Do you watch my channel, or is this the first time you've seen my channel in a long time? Do you watch my channel regularly, or is this first time? I'm just asking you, because it looks like you're one of the only ones that really piped up here out of all those people I sent a message to. I don't know. I think there's a few people out there, but all right. So let's see what else we got here. And I'll wait for you to talk there, buddy, but let's take a look and see what else we got here. Well, this is big news with, and this guy has some interesting commentary. You want to listen to what, this is what's happening with people that are following Trump. They're kind of going in circles here with the Epstein thing. The Epstein thing was a pretty big eye-opening wake-up call for those who were supporting Trump. And, it's that circular, don't believe your lying eyes kind of happy talk. You don't want to get caught up in that, because that's like you're believing something that's not actually true. Okay. Hey, I know you want to believe, I know you want to have a better life and you want to make America great. I understand that, but you got to understand basic logic and reason and morality, because that's what makes a place great, is a moral compass, right? So listen to this. Just listen to this, okay? I just want you to listen to what this guy is saying. Let's just take a listen. Let me see if this is the right one here. Okay, yeah, there we go. Let me pull it up here really quick. Okay, there we go. All right, so just take a listen to what this guy's saying here. And I don't even know who this guy is. I've seen him before. Okay, his name is Dollar Vigilante. Okay, I know who he is. So he's kind of got a little thing going on with something that he does. I don't know. Let's see. He sells something, but he's a smart guy. I wouldn't believe everything he says, but at least he's kind of tuning in on what's going on. So, like I said, I don't endorse this guy completely. I really don't even know. I know a little bit about him, but not too much. You make up your own mind. But he does have some interesting things to say. But here he goes. Listen to what he says.
The big things they thought it was that Trump. Like one of the big things they thought it was that Trump was going to release the Epstein files. Well, let's go through that timeline a little bit. Started out with the Epstein files are on Pam Blondie's desk.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review.
And then the Epstein binder photo op disaster with the Zionists. Then they said the FBI is hiding the files.
You are hiding the Epstein files, Mr.
Time of the
Patel.
gentleman has expired.
You are part of the cover-up.
And then they said the files don't exist.
If there was a video of some guy or gal committing felonies on an island, and I'm in charge, don't you think you'd see it?
And then Pam Blondie said there's thousands of videos of Epstein with children.
Tens of thousands of videos of Epstein with children or child porn. And there are hundreds of victims. And no one victim will ever get released. It's just the volume, and that's what they're going through right now.
Then they said, oh, the files do exist now. Then Trump said the files are a Democrat hoax.
From what I understand, thousands of pages of documents have been given, but it's really a Democrat hoax because they're trying to get people to talk about something that's totally irrelevant to the success that we've had as a nation since I've been president.
Then Kash Patel said there's nothing else to see.
They overclassify 50% of the stuff there to protect the deep state. Oh no, you can't see that. Nothing to see here. Gina was a master at it, of doing it.
Then Trump said, if you want this Epstein stuff, you're not MAGA anymore. Then Ghislaine Maxwell has an FBI interview and is put into a minimum security prison, is released on work time off, and her work is child sex trafficking. Then Trump comes back and says he actually wants the files released and they're real. And now they're saying the files are a national security risk and need to be redacted. So we're back to the black binders again. Do you see what's going on yet? Do you see what they're doing?
It's funny. It is true. It's true. It's like a big circle. And it's like, what are they hiding? What are they? What's the national security risk? And why did they say that it was a bunch of hoax and there wasn't really anything there? And then she actually admits that there was. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And then Kash Patel's like, you can trust me. You know how he looks all cross-eyed? You can trust me. Like, really? Okay, we can trust you. Hopefully you're going to do what's right. You know I would do what's right. Oh, sure. Sure we do. Just like we thought everything was going to work out in every other way because of the positive speak, positive talk, happy talk. But anyways, I know there's a lot of people jaded, and a lot of people have faded. A lot of people have backed away and are, wondering what happened. So here we go. U.S. forces raid ship, seize cargo headed for Iran from China. This operation highlights the Trump administration's use of aggressive tactics against adversaries at sea that were rarely used in the past. And it says here that the Iranian flag flutters over Tehran. And okay, so that's just a picture there. But it says the Wall Street Journal claims that U.S. Special Forces boarded and seized a Chinese vessel last month that was transporting sensitive dual-use military technology to Iran. And you know that the majority of ships that have gone into Iran from China and also those big C-135s or whatever they are, there was a whole bunch of them that went into Iran after we bombed them, I think it was. The majority of that has already gone in. I mean, this is just one out of probably a lot that has gone in there. There's already, and they're saying now, the Israelis are saying, oh, the Israel's back up to where they were. Iran's back up to where they were. Israel's like getting ready for another war with Iran. And they're trying to get us back involved because, well, Trump said, no. We did it. We did it all. We damaged it. It's totally, completely destroyed. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. Israel, just stop. Stop. You're hysterical, Israel. Even though we've got an ISIS leader right on your border now, and we're taking over Gaza, and we're bringing in 10 kings to kind of oversee the whole rebuilding of Gaza. Don't worry, Israel. We got your back. Right? Right. And Iran's taken care of. Don't worry, Israel. We already took care of it. But they're saying Israel's like, no, our intel's telling us they're building everything back. They've got it already back to where it was. They're going to bomb us again. No, they're not going to bomb you. Don't. And then we've got Reaper drones over there in Israel overseeing what's going on. Because Hamas now says, well, basically Trump owns Gaza right now. Did you know that? Trump pretty much owns Gaza. And the Hamas group, or whatever, terrorist group, or whatever you want to call them, they don't want to leave. And they're still dug in. And they've got big weapons. They've got small arms. And they're not giving them up. They said, you just got to come and get us out. You're going to have to extricate us out one at a time. And there's still 80% of the tunnel network is still, from what I understand, is still there. And it's, 600 miles of tunnels is what I heard. 600 miles of tunnels. That's a lot of tunnels. Did you see this? This is happening in the United States. So a massive Hindu idol is to be raised in the United States, taller than the Statue of Liberty. This massive 155-foot Hindu god is being built in North Carolina, and the project is already underway. It's the world's tallest statue of Murugan, and it's being planned in Moncourt in Chatham County, North Carolina. The god Marunga is known as the god of war. So what does Pete Hegseth go on about on a daily basis? War, right? He is the Secretary of War. Google Gemini is now Gen AI in the Pentagon, and they are integrating AI into all facets of society now with Trump's executive order, no longer allowing states to outlaw any AI regulation. This is really a war on the American people, by the way. If you don't understand what just happened with this executive order of Trump, he basically just opened up Pandora's box of AI weapons and surveillance on every American, not to mention American, but they're doing it already for adversaries and countries all around the world. In fact, they have the back door. If you don't know what Pegasus is, you guys got to understand what's really, if you don't study what's happening here, you won't understand how much our worlds are all changing right now. I mean, and the only way I can explain what it is the only way I can tell you how big of a deal it is I can say it's right there in prophetic scripture. It's right there in the book of Revelation. It's explained in Daniel. All of these different prophetic books that talk about what the end times will look like. The technology is there. You can see it in the book of Revelation. And what surrounds that technology? Well, bad wars. Okay? Very bad wars. And very bad tribulation on the whole planet. You're talking about death on a scale that we've never seen before. Okay? The tribulation of those days, it's going to be unlike any other time in history. This is the fourth kingdom. The Bible talks about the fourth kingdom. Well, Klaus Schwab calls it the fourth industrial kingdom, right? He calls it the fourth industrial kingdom. Well, this is what the Bible calls the fourth beast kingdom. This is the worst and the most terrifying kingdom that that Daniel saw in his vision. Remember? Or in the dream. And the angel gave him all that interpretation. And I'm telling you, it lines up with Revelation in the New Testament, the book of Revelation. And so what we see coming down the pike with all of this AI is AI weapons, AI kill lists. And there's a whole bunch of things they can do in real time through satellite, through in many different ways, guys. It ain't good at all when you really study it out. And I won't go into all the details. We've gone through so many things on this topic ad nauseum for a number of years now. Google Gemini is now Gen AI, and it says in the Pentagon, and they are integrating AI into all facets of society now with Trump's executive order, no longer allowing states to outlaw any AI regulation. So this is the new law. You have to go along with this. You can't opt out. And the digital ID is right in all of that. You're going to have to be surveilled in inside and out. This isn't just about, people say, well, I don't have nothing to hide. I don't care. I don't have nothing to hide. Well, it has nothing to do with hiding anything. It's called privacy. You go to your bathroom. Do you leave the door open? Do you let the whole world see? Do you have a TV camera inside your bathroom? Do you let the whole world watch whatever you do all throughout your day? Okay, well, because that's what's coming. Okay, they're going to watch everything and hear everything that you do, know exactly what you're buying, where you live, what's going on, and it's in a massive database, and anybody can access it at any time, and then use it against you on top of that. And then turn you off if they choose to so do because they don't like you. Oh, I don't like him. He said something terrible and negative. Turn him off. Just turn him off. Yeah, we don't like him. Yeah. No, he's one of those Christians out there. The Christians are those terrible people out there that are exposing all this agenda, and they're saying it's of the devil, even though it is. The devil's going to tell them, hey, that guy's messing up your game here. He's getting in the way. He's shining too much light on the situation. Why don't you do away with that guy? Just send a drone over there. Just turn off his bank account. Just turn off his money supply. Just turn off anything. He can't go anywhere. Okay, his car. You can turn off a car. They got the ability now on a lot of these cars now. They can turn them off. They can repossess your car without you even being in it. Did you know that? They have little tattletale cars now where they tattletale on you. Oh, you drove over the speed limit. He went a little too fast. He swerved. Okay, so your insurance rate goes up. Why? Well, because your car told on you and said that you're driving a little too fast, you're always going over the speed limit, and you brake kind of hard sometimes, and you swerve a lot. Your insurance rates are going up. Sorry, but your car telegraphs to the insurance companies everything. And I could just go on and on about how much in your business they're going to get. That's what it says, though. They go to war with the war of the saints. Read your Bible. It's such a deep topic, You really got to get into the depths of it. Now, this is the Hindu god area where they're going to put the statue. This is it here. This is according to CBN, which is a Christian Broadcasting Network. And this one here is showing how, and I looked it up. So if you go to the Roman Empire and what at the height of the glory of the Roman Empire, and you look at their borders, and you look at the borders of what was the Roman Empire at its heyday, right? It is almost exactly the same size as the United States, and it's not quite perfect, but I laid it out and I looked at all the layouts. You can go online and look at the layouts. It almost is in the same shape as the United States. It's about the same size and it's about the same shape. Now, what they have here is not actually represented as accurate as what it really looks like. So it doesn't look like a map of the United States on Europe. But when it says that we're the revived Roman Empire and everything that we have in D.C. is all Roman architecture and Roman gods, and Greek as well. We got some Greek stuff to it. But you got to understand the whole layout of our government and the foundations of the nation itself was based on the mystery religions and also going back to the Roman, architecture. That's why Trump wants to do everything Roman. He's all about Roman this and Roman that. I mean, even the Israelis get it. I don't know if you've seen this. Oh, shoot. You know what? I think I deleted it. Dang it, did I delete it? You know what, I remember just deleting it last night. Dang it. I wanted to show you that just now. It just came into my... Let me see if I deleted it. I think I did delete it. Let me see here. No, I still got it. Good. Okay, so, that Trump is the Roman. He's a Roman emperor. He represents the nations, and if you know anything about biblical history and the way the Jews of current modern day Israel and historically the way they viewed the West and the way they viewed the Gentile nations, you'll understand a little bit more about why they think Trump is a Messiah after the order of the Persian Emperor Cyrus. Because Cyrus was a Persian. He was an Iranian. If you want to call Persia the same region of Iran. But back in the day, it was Cyrus, right? And so they look at Trump as Esau, the brother of Jacob, who ultimately put the fear of death that hung over Israel or Jacob. And eventually, Esau made up with his brother. Remember at the end, they say prophetically that's going to be the pattern, is that Esau will come back to Jacob in the end times, and they will reconcile. But the king, or the representation of who that leader of the nations is, because they say that Esau represents the nations, not just Islam. He will be a Messiah in a certain way, overseeing and helping the Jews to restore the glory of the throne of David, right? To rule over the whole of the world. And so they liken Trump to Cyrus, but they also put him in the order of a Moses, where they say, well, Moses was a Messiah, and a Messiah is not like a god. A Messiah is a human, powerful political leader, and anybody who helps to restore the temple is considered a Messiah. It doesn't even have to be Jewish. You don't have to be Jewish as long as you facilitate the rebuilding or the establishment of the state of Israel and the rebuilding of the temple. You are in the classification of a Messiah, okay? So what they say about Trump is, like a Moses, he will rise up within the nation that he's a part of, and then he will destroy it, okay? Just like Moses was raised up in Egypt. And what happened? He turned on Egypt and ultimately freed the people of Israel from the domination of the nations, and that represented Egypt, and he delivered them. He delivered them from the power of the Egyptians. So they look at Trump as being someone that's going to ultimately rise up and destroy the old order and bring in about the glory age of Israel. This is what a lot of the Kabbalists and some of the very religious Jews think about how they perceive the world. Okay, so here's this is coming from a news station, and just check this out. This is an Israeli news station.
Back. It took me less time than to cook a Big Mac. Then I said to 10,000 years of war, bye-bye.
זה היה שת"פ שלך ושלי, אמרתי כן שציווית עליי. דונלד טראמפ הוא הקיסר של האימפריה.
אין מספיק זמן בפזמון לליקוקים.
Not him again.
הוא יודע אנגלית די מושלם.
אין תותח כזה בעולם.
דונלד טראמפ וגילה גמליאל כשרי האימפריה. אז דוב סתם נסחפה, הנה ציפור, ציפ ציפ. קורא בראש וניסן.
בצבע של תפוגן.
תעשה בראש, תעקוד לפינה, לא נמצא ממך כלום.
רק אולי חנינה.
לקטר את הכל, תתוקן את התיאם.
אם תרצה התנצלות לג'פר אפשר גם.
הוא משיח הוא פה ושום מוער ושם. קבלו את דונלד.
So, you know, Roman Emperor Trump, he got the hostages back faster than he can cook a Big Mac. Did you see he had the golden arches over the top of his throne? Like, what is this? This is the Jews. You know? He's like crazy. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I think we've gone on too long. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh Lord. What is up with all this craziness? I know we need a translation. We need a translation. Yes, Christianity did. Anytime Christianity's been persecuted, it brings out the best in the true followers, because they have to really believe what they say they believe, and the reality is that God is who He says He is, and He will reveal Himself in that time of great persecution. So the true believers are going to shine. It says, especially in Isaiah 60, like the noonday, they're going to shine like the stars, right, in the heavens. And it says that many will come to the brightness of the rising of those who are in that day. And arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. Gross darkness covers the people, but they will come to the brightness of your rising. And this comes at a time of great persecution, great tribulation. And I'm telling you, we're in it now. We're entering into the heavy stuff. We're going into some heavy battles here, guys, big time. And just keep praying for our channel. Keep supporting it, because we definitely need all of your guys' support to stand with us. We need you to participate in our channel, because we're doing this by a wing and a prayer, literally. And everything is being done by faith here. Like, we're not doing a business or anything. Like, we're just dependent right now on the Lord and whatever else people can do to keep us on. And so we'll see how it all works out, because things got to work out the way they need to. And I don't want to make it. I'm not trying to force anything. I'm going to let the Lord do it if this is really where we're supposed to go. Thank you, Loretta Commander. Thank you. God bless. And anyways, God bless all you out there. And for those who are watching our BP Ministries channel, make sure you're connected over there, because we do a daily, well, we try to do it as daily as possible. I sometimes do it over here because I'm really stretched out. Lately, we've had some big time disruptions. That's why I haven't been on, but as much. I've been on, but I haven't been on as much. But I try to do the teachings in devotion and prayer time. So if you have needs, spiritual, and you do want to get connected to the body of Christ, come on over. Just type in BP Ministries and get connected to our channel there. And like I said, the app's coming out. Hopefully we can do another little community of believers online and set it up for like a community kind of environment. And if we still got time, I mean, geez, the way things are going, I don't know how much time is left. I keep thinking things are going to go crazy. But anyways, God bless all you out there. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. The Lord make His face shine upon you and be gracious to you and give you peace. Amen. And let the Lord have His way. Give your heart to Him every day, throughout the day, in the morning, in the afternoon, and night. It says, if you let His word, you meditate on His word day and night, then you will have good success. Then you will enter in and possess the land. Then you will fulfill your promise. You'll understand God's plan. And God will open doors no man can shut, and He'll set your feet on a course and a path that cannot stumble, and is ascending, right? The path of the righteous grows brighter and brighter unto the perfect day. And you're going to get right in. You're going to get to that narrow gate. You're not going to be walking the wide gate where everybody's going, the easy gate, the gate of least, what do they call it? Least resistance. They're just kind of going into, everybody's going that way. Like, well, everybody goes off the cliff. You're going to go off the cliff too. You're going to jump off the cliff just because everybody else is doing it. That's what my parents used to say, right? You want to make sure you're going the way God calls you to. Narrow is the gate that leads to life. Very few be that find it. Wide is the gate, and broad is the path that leads to destruction. Very many that enter in there. So picking up a cross is not easy. Following Jesus is not easy, but it's doable when you trust Him completely, because then He helps you. He empowers you. He gives you wisdom from above, and He fulfills you. He fills you. He's actually living in you. One last thing before I go. If you want to know if you're a real Christian, there's a lot of people that understand Christianity, or they might have a little background or a little traditional knowledge of what Christianity is. They might say Christmas and Easter, and they go to church every once in a while. They may give a little 10%. This is how you know you're a Christian, because Paul the Apostle says, test yourselves to see whether or not you're in the faith. Unless, of course, unless you fail the test. And what is the test? That Jesus is living in you, right? So what does that mean? That means that there's a conversation that should be happening. And I'm not saying that you're hearing voices or anything, but, God has a way of speaking, not in the wind, not in the fire, not in the earthquake, but the still small voice. You're going to hear a voice behind you, the Bible says, saying, this is the way, walk ye in it. So when you're talking, you might hear a little nudge. You might get a little gut feeling. You might get a little intuition. You might have a dream that comes to pass or fulfilled, or a vision. You see something like a waking kind of daydream, and then all of a sudden it happens. I don't know how many times I can tell you that's happened to me. A dream happens and it ends up coming out just like the dream. Have you ever had that happen, when you dream something and it actually happens? Okay, well, God is trying to give you a heads up. He wants you to know that he's there, and he wants to make his abode within you. He says, I want to come and make my abode within you. So open up your heart. I stand at the door and knock. If any man hears my voice and opens his door, I will come in and I will sup with him and he with me. Don't open the door to AI. Don't get caught up thinking that, the powers that be are going to save you, or your money's going to save you, because it's not. It's a medium. You got to you got to live in the world, but don't become a part of it. Don't be one with it. You got to be in the world, it says, but don't be of it. Don't become one with it. Don't commune with the world. Commune with the people of God and the God of heaven in your own heart every day. And that way you'll be set. Come out from among them, it says, my people, be separate, touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you. You want to be received by God? Then don't get enmeshed in the world. Amen. God bless you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Have a great evening.